my guide said when we were looking at him. He just says he's very nice. He's very nice. He's a classic Argentinian stag, not real big, but gives you an idea of what you're looking at.
Tres. 13 points.
This is how you count?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
On the crown? Okay.
Next, on the National Rifle Association's Under Wild Skies, wing shooting from the fields of Uruguay. And later, Swarovski's Dean Capuano climbs high for the big stags of Patagonia. The roar is in full swing, under wild skies.
The National Rifle Association's Under Wild Skies is brought to you by NRA Sports, by Swarovski Optic, see the unseen, by Midway USA, just about everything for shooting, reloading, gunsmithing, and hunting, and by Dallas Safari Club. Let your membership support your passion.
A trip to South America is not complete without hunting the vast agricultural fields of the Central Plains. And while Macris comes to the antipodes for the big stags of Patagonia, the wing shooting in neighboring Uruguay is one of the best kept secrets in shotgunning. And the shooting is fast and furious.
We started this trip by going on a pigeon shoot in Uruguay with one of our outfitters that Tony and I have hunted with on a couple of different occasions. We were staying in the beach resort of Punta de Este, which is a magnificent place, a beautiful house up on the beach. And what we're doing is we're hunting these sorghum fields that are about 30 minutes from town. And just super high volume pigeons, plenty of shooting for everybody.
For Ben Carter of DSC and Rich Keza of Blaser USA, a chance to put the Blaser F3 to work in the Milo fields is not to be missed.
I tell you what, Uruguay, I'm impressed. It's a beautiful place. Food's been great. The accommodation's great. John has done a great job of putting this whole trip together for everybody, and of course everybody here on the trip. It's a lot of fun getting to spend time with them and get to know everybody a little bit better. And the birds there's a lot of birds. We've seen a lot of birds today. I've missed a lot of birds today, but I've hit a few too, and so I'm enjoying this.
Everybody thinks about coming to Argentina to shoot doves and ducks, perdees. Uruguay is not to be overlooked. I've had some of the best duck shoots in my life here, and I've had a perdees hunt or two that was just better than anything I'd ever heard about. So don't overlook this great country. It's mainly agricultural. They got great beef, good seafood, really nice people. I should have been able to hit him.
This is my first time. It's a blast. I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. They're coming from behind and front to the side. Good amount of birds, good amount of shooting.
We were shooting the new Blaser shotguns, and I think everybody was impressed.
I hear Rich is doing a lot of shooting. Rich Kaiser with the Blaser, makers of this fine shotgun. And he's a serious shooter.
It's a 12-gauge frame, and I'm shooting a 20-gauge gun. On the same frame, you can get a 28-gauge Turkish walnut wood. Some of the best German-made firearms we import into the U.S.
They fly really fast and they're very alert. It's a challenging shoot. It's fun. It's really great. These things are really moving.
Next, on the National Rifle Association's Under Wild Skies, the moment of truth presents on a windswept Andean ridge. Pete Brownell takes to the challenge. Big game adventure is on. Under Wild Skies. In Patagonia's Tipiluque, The stags of autumn are in full roar. But every hunt, whether international or in your own backyard, should begin in one place, with all the sportsmen making sure their gear is in top form.
We're shooting the Blouser R8 this trip. It's very convenient. You can drop that trigger group out with your clip, make the gun safe when we're in and out of these vehicles. But I was very impressed with the accuracy of the R8. And we're shooting an array of calibers, anywhere from .308 to .30-06 to 300 Win Mag here, and they've all shot very well.
With Hornady ammunition, Swarovski optics, and the Blouser R8s all working in tune, it's time for Pete Brownell to take on the high peaks of the Andes.
Done.
Pete Brownell, like Steve, Hornady is an NRA board member. He's a proprietor of Brownell's, which is a gun supply, gun tooling, magazines, you know, everything for firearms catalog. Wonderful guy, really good hunter, made a bunch of really good shots on this hunt. He's a serious rifleman.
You know, I'm meeting Pete Brownell for the first time. One thing that struck me is Pete is in incredible shape, and that's important here in Patagonia. Being in that top physical condition, nothing on this property is off limits, and Pete's taking advantage of that, and he's probably got, what, 2 trophies and 4 management stags this week.
Out here, these stag, the really good ones, have a basket up here of 3 or 4 tines on these antlers. And when you get a stag like this, where there isn't any, they can slip right through that tine and won't lock up, and it can really injure the real trophy animals. So they have us cull out some of these, what they call assassin stags. They really just ruin the good genes out here. So it's a management technique, and it's really paid off because there's some really trophy stag out here.
What we've tried to do is we've really tried to let our stags reach full maturity, and that's 8, 9, 10 years of age. And then we've been very aggressive taking or what we believe are the genetically inferior stags, or management, or assassins as they call them here. Those assassins generally have one long spike, and the death rate of the trophy stags goes way up when fighting with these assassins. So we've come up with categories: free, management, grande, muy grande, and muy grande. And that's just a simple price structure. It lets the client know what caliber stag, what the stag's going to score before he pulls the trigger.
And with a management bull or assassin already taken, Pete is ready to go after one of Patagonia's muy grandes.
Looks good.
Oh, very good tiger.
Yeah, look at that.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Long.
It's very long, right?
Sí.
Such good genetics.
Muy grande.
You think muy grande? Huh?
Sí, sí. Maybe muy. It's long. Very nice. Long.
Very good.
Very good, huh? Looks good. Huh?
Next, on the National Rifle Association's Under Wild Skies. After watching and waiting, Dean may finally get his chance. The roar reaches a fever pitch. Under Wild Skies.
The The National Rifle Association's Under Wild Skies is brought to you by NRA Sports, by Blazer, by Kiwi, stay dry with Kiwi heavy-duty water repellent, and by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable.
For Dean Capuano of Swarovski Optic, chasing the big bull stag of Patagonia's Tipiluque is a chance to put his tools of the trade to the test.
I have a number of my friends down here, people that have supported the show over the years, people that have been friends for all kinds of reasons, but I got Dean Capuano, who's with Swarovski, and Dean has actually been down here with me once before and had a great hunt, and he had to come a little early and leave a little early, but I did get to spend a couple of days in camp with him. Great guy from Rhode Island, you know, hockey player, serious hunter, and to be in camp with Dean was pretty nice.
You know, I'm a little bit spoiled working for an optics company, but you learn very quickly down here in Argentina how important optics are. I mean, typically your day starts out, you'll have a half-hour drive, and, you know, you'll get up pretty high, and then you'll just kind of look around for a while. And the roar is on down here, so you'll see lots of stags, and you don't want to waste hunting time, you know, going after a stag that you might not want to harvest in the end. So optics, we start off in the morning, you know, really getting a good look through those binoculars, having a really big field of view, and then move into the spotting scope when you really think it's something you want to go after. But obviously it's pretty open country, and when you do get on these stags, you can use these little foothills to kind of work yourself around and work the wind, but you've got to be careful because there's not too many trees, and certainly if you do find a river bottom or something like that, it's definitely a huge advantage. We spotted a good group of hinds with a really great stag, and you know, we got to about 600 yards and pulled out the spotting scope just to really check he was the kind of stag we were looking for.
We've got a good bunch of stags down at the bottom here. The one looks pretty good. Looks pretty good stag. We've got a lot of hinds in there though. A lot of females. Mainly females. No good when maybe to the left. Yeah, the wind's kind of coming across this way. Yes. That one stag looks pretty good, though. Yes, very good. Stag. Okay, ready for the action. Okay.
Well, it seemed like he was in an excellent spot to kind of put a stalk on him. They were out in this field, and just below that field was this huge riverbed that ran for a couple of 100 yards, but it had, you know, a bunch of trees and, you know, down logs and all different kinds of stuff that we could hide behind. So it just worked out great. So we got back down on the riverbed and kind of eased our way up towards it.
Start before 3. Walk 40 meters. So I think if we can get to that tree, we'll probably be 300 yards. 300, yeah. Okay.
You know, we got to about 300 yards and we thought, you know, that's as close as we're going to get. So we glassed him up one more time. The nice thing is we're using the Swarovski Optic ballistic turrets this week, so I had my turret set up for 300 yards, so I just dialed in my 300-yard zero, and you know, I was able to put that center crosshair right on him.
He's down.
Good
I
time.
see you're right about 300.
Yes.
Boy, this gun's right on. Good stag, though.
Go.
Good stag. You know, what a great feeling when that stag goes down. These animals are just majestic, and, you know, they're certainly challenging, but in the end, it's just a beautiful place to hunt. Well, Danielle, awesome stag. Wow, look at the mass on him. This is an old stag. He's got great mass, he's got good length, just a very old, mature Patagonian stag. And, you know, the hunting down here has just been wonderful this week. And John Burrell at the High Adventure Company, you know, when I know I want to come stag hunting, there's really only one person to talk to. And here at Tipiluque, the lodge is excellent, but the most important thing, they just have wonderful stag. But another great one. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
For Dean and everyone who hunts these windswept highlands, there's a sense of familiarity about Patagonia and the stag who roar there. For every hunter that follows the rut, there is something magical about those finite days when opportunity abounds and the golden light of eternal autumn seems to shine under wild skies.
Wild turkey, venison stew, roasted pheasant, rabbit risotto. The chemical-free, just-picked ingredients and the absence of antibiotics in the freshest of meats are the essence of today's farm-to-table food culture. But hunters have been eating this way for centuries. This is their table, and this is their farm. Trust the hunter in your blood.